Welcome to BlackSwanFinances.com. Today we'll look at the man who predicted the price of Bitcoin throughout 2016 and into 2017, Cliff High and his webbot. The first video that we're going to look at dates from October 12, 2016, and his predictions are very accurate, except for the timing.
There was a juxtaposition between Bitcoin and a rise it was going to take, the particular kind of rise it was going to take that I describe as crocodile teeth, which is probably some kind of very erratic up and down kind of trading thing that produces these on a chart, and hopefully this will be visible. And so there's our crocodile teeth. And as you can, see, the overall pattern is up.
In this graph, we see that Cliff High's prediction pattern actually came. We can see the crocodile teeth that he was talking about, and it lasted for over 2 months, from October mid to late December. After that, the pattern changed.
So we had this in the data sets back at the end of May, and it was talking. The data sets were quite interesting in talking about the Bitcoin rise, because the crocodile teeth are going to take it up over 1,000 US, over $1,000 US, and it'll fall down, fall right back. So just be advised, up and down business in a very short period of time, say 2, 3, 4 days, maybe 2, 3, 4 hours, not very long, and it goes
breaking the $1,000 mark. That was very accurate. He said 4 days, and here we see that Bitcoin was above $1,000 for just 4 days, from January the 1st to January the 5th. And then it fell below it.
And then it just kind of like deflates down to about 888. It'll hover around 888.
Once again, he's right on the money. We see that after falling from 1,000, it actually hovered around 888 for a while. At the moment I'm making this video, it's below that. It's at 820, but still, that's not 600, that's not 700, that is in the 800 level. And it was often hovering around 888.
We'll see Bitcoin go up over 648, and then it's done with it. It won't be messing with the 640s, the 650s anymore. Then it'll go out 688, and when it goes over 688 and keeps on going, it's going to change its pattern. So prior to the 688, the charts will look one way, and then we have a description for them looking slightly different. So I'll just put down here current price as CP, and then we have this sort of lumpy little thing of crocodile teeth up to the point that we get to 688 US. And from there on, it becomes too steep to walk. Okay, so from 688 up to 1,000, the advance is at a slope that a human would find very, very difficult to walk up. You'd have to climb that. And so the slope, it changes from this pattern up to this very steep pattern as it goes up into 1,000.
Now, he had predicted that that was going to happen in August, but it happened in mid-December. And there we can see that the pattern changed upwards.
And then, as I say, it bounces up and down like that kind of thing, and then down to 888, which wherever 888 would be here. And then it comes back up again after some period of time has elapsed. However, Bitcoin's got some rather spectacular stuff to do later on this year relative to the Chinese yuan.
Again, right on the money. The reason why the Chinese started to buy so much Bitcoin in what was called a Bitcoin craze, it's because of the devaluation of the yuan. Capital controls. It is expected that the yuan will continue to devalue. So this is good for Bitcoin.
All of that progress, its angles, all of the stuff described is now becoming active. The reason it's becoming active is we have our political setup, if you will. We also have the Chinese setup participating, and that occurred here as they devalued the yuan yet again. causing the Chinese to once again seek out a safe haven for their wealth, and they're again concentrating on Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin rise is a long run this time. So it's going to go pretty much active or not continuously, but really relative to what's happened in the first half of the year. In these last couple of months of the year, we'll see a lot more Bitcoin activity than before. A lot of it in China. So Chinese dominance of Bitcoin is going to continue, and this is pretty much good for the planet, the way these things go.
The next video is an interview with Greg Hunter, USA Watchdog, on December 29th, 2016.
One thing that I would take as a sign of a crash, even though it wouldn't look like it, would be a sudden spike upward in the value of Bitcoin in Chinese RMB or yuan, and its corresponding sudden spike upward in US dollar amounts. That's a real good sign these days in our global manipulated markets that we're looking at an economic event or a financial system event underway in real time. And now I say real time because Bitcoin's traded in real time fashion 24/7. It is manipulated to a small extent, but it costs the manipulators real Bitcoin to do the manipulation. So it's not like it's controlled the way silver and gold are. And my predictions on Bitcoin have been much more accurate than those on silver and gold relative to price because it is not so easily controlled. Thus, the new prediction sets we have are showing us swapping over to RMB as China takes over the emotional control of if you will, of the Bitcoin world. And a lot of their rush into that is fear about the currencies. So China Pop is going to get really freaked out. And we show it in the 8th through the 12th. There's going to be something in there where China Pop's going to get really freaked out about the value of their own currency, and there's going to be more of a tendency and a rush into Bitcoin. Now, at some point this year, China, the official authorities, are going to just give in to that. And there's going to be a change in their official approach to this whole thing.
And they're going to say, go ahead and use Bitcoin. Go ahead and use it.
Boy, if you read our report, you're going to be staggered. It's going to be more than that. China's going to rush out because of the way they do things. The Chinese authorities know their existence, their lives depend on the health, wealth, and happiness of the people below them. And so somebody's going to come up with an idea to extend digital currency and Bitcoin, and we have the language there, to people who trade goats now. Okay, and the idea is that China, along with their Silk Road train from Beijing to Berlin, is going to extend out fiber optics and bring in over 1 billion people into the internet in the shortest possible time, maybe less than a year, and that they're going to do it, and at the same time they're going to spread the Bitcoin ethos through there. So it's just going to be quite staggering. Now that probably won't happen until later in the year, maybe in this summer.
Lastly, a video from January 12th, 2 days ago.
So now we have Bitcoin news. I don't want anybody to think that I'm skipping over this. The Bitcoin drop is as to be expected. This is what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin builds strong hands and strong stomach. Now, for those that are interested in Bitcoin trading, there are a couple of opportunities that we're detailing out in this current Bitcoin report as best we can. For the descriptor sets are really quite nice. I like those, but the timing, we're drilling in on it as best we can. But we are giving you the temporal markers to look for these a couple of trading opportunities, because I know people have been able to do that sort of thing. Sell it off at 1,100 and buy it back at 800 or lower, that kind of thing. So the Bitcoin is basically crocodile teeth up through the rest of the year. Don't worry about it. There's some stuff coming along that's going to cause a major, not a rethink. They've already done that. The Chinese central authorities in our data sets are already showing up as being embracing Bitcoin.
We found an article from the SGT report in which Big Sweer writes that China's central authorities are actually moving towards embracing Bitcoin, and that, I quote, They're moving to ensure the validity and trustworthiness of Bitcoin operations in the future, as China will soon embrace Bitcoin in the very near future.
It just hasn't been announced yet, and it may not be announced for a number of months. And how the Chinese are, they get everything ready and then they announce it, and it's a done deal. So and like I say, it may be a while, but our data sets are showing it as pretty much the route it's going to go. So I'm not particularly worried about the price of Bitcoin, especially in dollars.